Welcome to a new class with Mahavajra. Today's class, an emotional integration. So I will be guiding you. While the live watchers connect, let us contemplate simple Visantara. Humble, honest with ourselves, simple. Coffee, for those who care. Simple contemplation of wanting to become better. After a small break we had, I don't expect the usual 40 something, 60 sometimes to connect, and that's okay. Just practice your Visantara. Be honest with yourself. Be available to grow. And let's get on to the topic. Last time we felt offended, not necessarily angry, but offended in our pride, probably. Did we choose it? No, we didn't choose it. A typical Visantara question. Lately, at some point in some story, we felt offended by someone's comment, by someone's attitude. The Visantara question is the feeling of offense that rose. Did I choose that? No, obviously not. It's a mechanical response to something. So we need to use that answer to admit that there are forces inside we don't control. And that will be a usual first step in Visantara, form of emotional integration. We will meet many people in life. Some are simply more educated, more advanced spiritually, more experienced in life. And because of that, we just don't understand why they're doing what they're doing, or why their response is how they respond. But why? Why do you do that? Why do you say that? But usually we will react to people who are less experienced, less cultivated with less personal growth. It belongs to us to understand evolution and to respect its course. It is completely normal that many around us do not have the intention of doing personal growth. That's one of our big disappointments. Those who do personal growth. Now, yoga teachers, spiritual masters, Reiki practitioners, we mostly surround ourselves with people who want to do personal growth. All you need to do is interact with normal people. And it's a healthy thing to do so. To get your offenses back on. To feel offended. I felt offended yesterday night. Not dramatically. But it was a wave of potential of pride. And it's normal. It's okay. Because I have experience in it. I just answered, I am learning and I made a mistake. Sorry. That's it. That was end of the conversation. It's not easy for some of us to just say, I'm sorry, you're right. Just so that the conflict will end. Especially when someone, in our opinion, and we consider ourselves always, of course, more involved, is better than the other. We have pride. We will always meet people ready for a conflict. A verbal argument, hopefully it's only verbal. It's always going to happen. Why must you win that argument? Do you understand the question? Why must you win a verbal argument with someone who is wrong? If you ask yourself the question, is my life threatened right now? If I lose this argument, or if I'm not confirmed to be right, is my life going to be threatened? No. Usually not. So in the question of today, how much energy am I going to invest in being right in an argument when not much consequences will happen, regardless of the outcome? Sometimes there are consequences. Yeah. In the Mahajriya, there are humans who participate in events, online activity, and it's normal to have disagreements. It's okay. We don't really police the interaction of our members. If a disagreement is about disrespect of a member with another, we recommend that both practice emotional integration. That's the extent of our intervention. If a person in a position of authority, a teacher, is causing conflict, we will suggest to them to practice emotional integration and cultivate Rishnaya. They're just human. Now, if there is an abuse, then we will intervene more severely. But it's not our job to tell people to evolve. Our job is to tell people that they're free to evolve or not. That freedom applies to our members. This class today is about those conflicts we have with anyone. How important is it for you to win a verbal argument? Well, if it's about the wisdom and you are lost in despair and need a solution, and someone said something wrong about a mantra, and then are you going to lose your soul because you didn't charge it correctly? It's not dramatic. It's technicalities. Yesterday I was playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons. The DM acted in a way that was disrespectful to the players, including me. I said to that, I am learning and I made a mistake. I'm sorry. In my opinion, the DM was an asshole in that specific action, not as a being definition. Ask yourself, during a verbal exchange about opinions, point of views, is your life threatened? If you don't win that specific argument, is your life threatened? What is this emotional force inside that absolutely must win an argument? Try to feel it. Do you need to win that argument? Yes. Well, you think you do, at least. Especially against a boss that is wrong in his interpretation of facts. Especially with anyone in a position of authority. But they are wrong. It affects me. Yeah. It's very important to seek justice. Do not use this teaching in a way to think that actual justice is not important. We will need discernment on how important is any issue. It's a gray zone. But sometimes, many times, it doesn't really matter who wins the argument. It doesn't. That's what you have to ask yourself. What is this feeling that rises during a conflict? I must be right. So, first obvious deduction is pride. Good. Then you integrate your pride and you move on. And it happens again. And again. And again. So on. There's more than pride. There's egocentrism. What about me? This simple question. But what about me? What about my feelings? What about my point of view that you just discard like that? What about me? You didn't care about me. Exactly. You see, that is not a question. That's just a fact. That person did not care about you. But why? It's not a why. It's a fact. That person did not care. End of it. Asking yourself, but what about me? Is trying to turn a fact into a question. Not about you is a fact. It's not a question. But we ask, hey, my feelings, my opinion, my broken pride, what about mine? Don't care. We will often meet people with whom we don't have this chemistry. If you never meet people with whom you are in syntony, the problem is probably you. Just think about that one. Usually you'll have chemistry with a few people and not with a lot. That's my average. Hopefully it's better in your life, but that feeling of collaboration is not obvious to find. Well, it's better with Maharya, in my opinion. And also experienced Tibetan religious people. They are much more chill than the early Tibetan newbies. And we tune very good also together. Car mechanics, they're easy to deal with. Probably plumber. Hey, Michael, who's watching now. We will find situations of conflict. It's going to happen. And we ask ourselves a question, what about me? When the fact is, they don't care. The ineluctable truth, sorry, translators, the unavoidable truth. There's a force inside you that seeks validation, importance, to be right. And it is not going to be confirmed by most interactions you have with other humans. It's not going to happen. Feel it. The pride that is broken. The validation that does not come. And that is just the surface. A surface hard as concrete. But it's just the surface. I've been speaking for the last 20 minutes only about the reactions to non-validation. A battle inside, a general disagreement, and we feel offended. It happens. Big conflicts, little conflicts, it happens. If your life is not threatened, why do you still need to win that argument? That validation, you know? And so far, we're just talking about the carapace, the power that rises to defend you. Pride, yeah. You can find in yourself if it's because you're a victim or a persecutor. You usually don't want to win an argument as a savior, but it could happen. There's egocentrism mostly. What about me? Whenever you ask yourself, well, actually, you don't know you're asking what about me. It's just that reflex. Need to win. Argument. Need to win. Just the animal inside. But asking, hey, what about me? Asking yourself, what about me? Not with the words, but with the attitude, is disregarding a fact. It's not about me. And just doing that, you're doing it to the other. Hey, it's not about you. It's about me. Doing this, what about me, is doing exactly to the other. It's not about you. Then what triggered your reaction? Both have a emotional defensive envelope or carapace. It's egocentrism. Either people around you are more experienced in a field of competence, more evolved as beings, and you just can't understand why they do what they do. If you do personal growth, the majority of the cases will be that they are less evolved and less experienced. It belongs to you, the advocate of personal growth, to understand evolution. They are not there yet. They don't have the compassion that you try to cultivate. They don't. You are not going to win that argument. If the situation affects your revenue importantly, or your life, you and your loved ones seek justice. But most of the time, it doesn't matter. These arguments are about validation. It breaks our controlling mind to know we are right and that the other is wrong. And we will lose that argument anyway. Why does it matter? Why is it so important to win an argument or to find validation? Only facts matters. Only results matter. If the result is not going to affect your health, your livelihood in a substantial fashion, it doesn't matter. Anyone not a practitioner of personal growth or spirituality will not behave, will not have the quality as a being that you wish from others. The problem is, you should wish those qualities from yourself and respect other people's rhythm of evolution. That's a hard one. Doesn't matter if we are important. I like to play games, Dungeons and Dragons in this case, because we tend to associate to our character, and the character has to suffer the will of a god, the dungeon master or the game master, who according to our opinion are wrong in this or that matter. And it's not about me. It's a game. It's an illusion. It's not even real. I like it. It reminds me where I still react. And also shows me the speed at which I deal with it, which is a good way to validate our progress. I'm just giving examples here. I'm sure in your personal life you have your own conflicts of opinion with a friend, lover, boss, parent, children. Feel the hardness of your pride. Feel the surface, the carapace. That is your punishment. That is your real cause of suffering in the majority of conflicts you have. Egocentrism. What about me? Bam, you just return it to the other anyway. When you react to this, when you feel offended, you are just another monkey in the jungle throwing shit at someone else. You're playing the game. You are participating to the conflict. Prudence, the virtue of prudence, requires us to emphasize our security and our sense of justice. The majority of time, we could let the other go with a sense of validation or superiority and mourn our importance. And in this way, giving our importance back to us. To be autonomous in self-validation. I know I did my best. And that will be enough. Typical scenario of an action movie or TV series or anime. One kills someone from the other clan avenge, killing someone else, then vengeance rise. Vengeance. No. It's just an example. At one point we have to break the cycle of vengeance. It is the same with validation. the cycle of pride and validation. We have to break that cycle. Wanting to be validated has the effect of confirming that the other isn't, not giving them. Because in a conflict, the validation will go to one who feels like the winner, or none. None will have it. It's just going to be everyone offended. You can break that cycle by choosing to lose. If it doesn't threaten your life, your health, it's okay. Doesn't matter. Roll with the punches. Most of these arguments are illusions anyway. And those who seem real, well, metaphysically speaking, are part of a deeper layer of illusion. Shidva at this point. All right, but outside of metaphysics, try to feel that wave of egocentrism inside that will do everything to win an argument. Why does it matter so much? Egocentrism. Pride is just a projection. It's just a superficial reaction of denial. Deep inside, it's egocentrism. Why is that egocentrism so wild, so vigorous? It's because we're missing something deeper. If we need that validation, if we need the validation, it's because we're missing something deeper inside. So now we're going to start talking about the solutions. So far, we only spoke of the reaction itself and a temporary remedy, to break our own pride. Let's try to find the core. If we need validation, if we need to be right, to safeguard our pride, because somewhere deeper we are missing something. The easy answer would be self-love. No, it's not it. Self-love is fun, but it's not the core of the problem. Existential proof. Proof that we exist. Now we have to resort to metaphysics. As a soul, we know that we are here in an identity that is not fundamentally us. The identity is what we have. And the identity needs a proof that it's not just an illusion. In a world of distinction, the identity is real because it exists as a fact. It's an object of mind that we have. In a world of non-distinction, it doesn't really matter. As a soul, as a being, we're not sure if we are real. And we will fight to prove it. From the point of view of Brahma, we are a character in a dream. But the dream is real. course, completely real. Whatever Brahma thinks becomes a reality. He's the creator. But we as egos, we know somewhere there is oneness. We can feel it. It's still there, this nostalgia of flowing one in the great mind of Brahma. And the ego has this question: am I even real? It allows a panic to seize us inside. And we will fight to prove our existence, the validity of our existence. Can you feel that fear of not even being real? Can you feel this thread that we're hanging on? Like if our truth was hanging on a thread. Whoever is, fond of the belief everything is illusion, is just trying to deny that they're in panic if it was the truth. We are here. And obviously what we experience, we really do. That's real. Deep inside in the ego, we're not sure about that. We will fight to prove to ourselves that we're not going to cease to exist at any moment. Of course, we feel that we need to be loved. We seek exterior love, and we will cultivate self-love because of that, which is a good thing. Self-love is not the ultimate solution. It's a profound solution at the second level of, at the level of the second plane, if you want. It's very, very high reality self-love. But to answer the more subtle problem about reality and illusion, about dream or existence, self-love makes us feel real. When you feel loved by another, you feel validated. It does that. I exist. So that love comes to answer the emptiness. When that love from outside goes away, we are back in emptiness. And that emptiness, am I even real? Am I going to break right now and cease? Our survival instinct is challenged. But we're not going to die. It's just one less person loving you. That's okay. But we're freaking out when one less person loves us. Huh? Self-love is very important. It is a way for us to fill the emptiness inside without an external source of love. self-love. And that will make us feel plenitude. But even then, self-love will fill only a part of our emptiness. So even with self-love, we're still trying to find the love of others. Because we know there is something that surpasses us. Our own self-love, which is essential to find happiness, still will not be enough to answer the fundamental questions. There is something that surpasses us in the universe. We just need a bit of humility to see it. And we still need love from something else than us, the ego. True plenitude comes when we feel the love of God. Self-love is essential, and it will only give you half of what you need to answer the fundamental truth. And because you need to feel that love from what is outside or what surpasses you, you're seeking love outside anyway, even with the rich self-love. So I imagine when your own self-love is weak, you're stuck outside. Who will give me that? Half of the work is to give yourself that self-love. That is through integration, personal growth, forgiveness, good pride, being proud of yourself when you do good, kindness, act kindly, feel good about yourself. That will answer half of your need of self-love. Make sure to get to a point you feel better about yourself than before, even if it's not perfect. Act kindly, feel better about yourself. But then you still need the love that is greater than you. And that one too, you should not seek it outside. Well, in others. Seek it directly from the whole. And spirituality comes into account at this point. Doing only personal growth will lead you very far. Whoever has gone through my class of Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, you'll understand we have to admit there is something greater than us in this universe. There's something bigger. I mean, we are just an individual. We don't contain the whole of the universe. We're just a little particle. Now, we still need to be as important as the whole universe. But we're just a particle. We're not insignificant. We're extremely small compared to the whole. There is something greater than us. So it takes that humility to say, even if I don't believe in God, the consciousness that fills the whole of the universe It is from the whole that I need to feel complete with. And this is where your quest for love outside should be. Not in any specific other person or being, but just the whole, undefined, uncontained, and non-distinct. And I like to call that God. It's just a word. I like to call that God. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and whatever other concept. The suffering of conflict comes from wanting outside love, the outer love, from specific individuals. And doing this local quest of love reinforces that you too are just an isolated individual. Local quests for love in other individuals reinforces the feeling of separation and diminishes your experiences of unity, because you act in a way to confirm it. With others, you should believe in equity. And as you, with all your flaws, trying to be that source of love for them. And then trying to love the unloved. Trying to forgive those that I can't forgive, that the unforgivable. In this way, you start to behave like Brahma, the one that is there for the whole, for everything, for everyone. That reinforces the sense of unity. That diminishes the sense of separation. And your pride will rise. I'm not gonna start loving all these fucking idiots. What about me? Of course. Of course your ego will rise with these reactions. As an ego, you can only replenish the planes where you have ego. So 10 to 5, you know, and it's gradient and it's gradial. It's not completely 5, completely 6. Another part of you will need what is beyond you. You'll need the greatness of the Supreme Being, or the grand reality that you're part of. And communion with this supreme entity will fill it back, will fill that emptiness. So as much as your ego is stuck in this panic, am I even real? That small particle in the great vastness? The more you behave like the Great One, the more that particle remembers being part of it. Where you are on your progress to this fundamental question about reality and illusion, separation and oneness, the emptiness where you feel something is still missing. That question where you are in that progress will be answered next time you feel offended. It won't be the words. It will be a wave of feeling. What about me? My importance. So you work on it. That class was about a fundamental integration that starts with the humility to admit the superficial reaction, to take responsibility for that reaction, understand the deeper mechanics of egocentrism. And then you can realize one integration won't suffice. Your actions in daily life, your role as the one who loses the argument, who forgives, who collaborates, the one who acts with compassion, prudence, justice, and equity when it applies. That is what will merge you back with the Great One. And your love will be complete when it is not stuck in individuals, when it is the Vishnu level of experience of love. It is a thing that flows everywhere. You just have to bathe in it. You just have to immerse yourself in that love. And a conflict will come. And your pride will seek validation. And you keep working on it. That is how it is. See you on Monday.